Xin chào mọi người, chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với chuyên mục podcast trên kênh Căn Nhà Màu Vàng và mình là Quốc Nhân. Ngày hôm nay thì chúng ta lại có một vị khách mời rất đặc biệt, một vị khách mời ngoại quốc trên chuyên mục podcast của chúng ta, đó là anh bạn Guillaume. Welcome back to our podcast on Căn Nhà Màu Vàng channel. After a lot of successful podcasts before that, we received a lot of comments and the inbox that they want to have more perspective, of course, by dual language. So that's why we have one of close friend of mine here, Mr. Guillaume. So Guillaume, you're appearing on our channel for many times, but I think this is the first time that you can officially introduce about yourself, and the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Nhan, for inviting me today to discuss about maybe foreigner perspective about Vietnam. I've been living in Vietnam for roughly 6 years.
6 years,
yeah,
okay.
And I'm doing few businesses that involve setting up a company for foreigners, helping foreigners in the real estate field, as well as doing sourcing for foreign buyers. So basically helping foreigners to find factories in Vietnam.
All right. So for some people that they might saw Guillaume on our channel because Guillaume is also a YouTuber, right? You have the Move to Asia YouTube channel, and we do the crossover together to review the property in Vietnam. And you know that with that kind of content, we receive a lot of good feedback from the foreigner because not many foreigner agent, I would call, in Vietnam to do this kind of content. So tell me, what made you start that idea to do this business?
So basically, Move to Asia started from the idea of I was living in Vietnam already, and I wanted to find a project that would be aligned with what I would discover here. So I was before like bouncing around, traveling in Southeast Asia. I live in Thailand, in Cambodia, in Vietnam, and then when I finally settled in Vietnam, I found that here there might be opportunities to highlight, and I was just enjoying my life at that time. So I wanted to share. So I start with a blog, so just writing like blog posts, etc. And I start to get people giving feedbacks, etc. And then I figured out that also interviewing either foreigners or either locals would bring value to people who would like to come to Asia, explore business and work opportunities.
All right, and you use the term as settle down. What made you settle down in Vietnam?
Yeah, so a couple of parameters, but basically I feel that not only Vietnam but also Ho Chi Minh City is a very vibrant city, very diverse community. And if you have this mindset of you want to start maybe an online business, or you want to invest, or you just want to meet like-minded people to share ideas, to start something, you don't want to work for corporate life, but you want to try to find your own path, then I feel that this city especially has everything. It's very easy to settle here. You have a lot of networking events, and then at this time, like 5 years ago, it was easy to get a visa to stay here a long period of time. After things got more complicated, but basically I found that it was a very good place to start something. And of course, after you start to have you lease an apartment for a long time. You start to have a girlfriend. You find your place where you do your gym, etc. And finally, you put your roots more in the city. But It started just by finding that this city has something special.
All right, and then you join yourself into this city. So you basically that this city is inspiring for your business at the moment. Is it true?
Yeah. So to be honest, like foreigners, when they are looking to explore Vietnam opportunities, most of them will turn their focus to Ho Chi Minh City, just because in terms of business, it's very easy to hire talents here. Like you have a lot of IT companies. If you have, for instance, a business overseas as a foreigner, you can set up in Vietnam like an outsourcing hub, or just you hire some people here. They can be very competitive, or just obviously because of the cost of labor is lower than foreign countries. So that may be a first city that they will consider. And then the Vietnam real estate market also has been booming, and then obviously Ho Chi Minh City was one of the most promising cities. A lot of projects from very like mid-end to very high-end. So diverse opportunities. And for the sourcing, so the other business that I have, the factories are very nearby, right? Long An, Dong Nai, Binh Nhung in the north. So from 1 hour from Ho Chi Minh City, you can just finally go to a factory and help clients to start something on that.
Oh, interesting, because we know each other through the residential segment, right? So we collaborate to each other by reviewing the apartment, the condominium and project, to providing the insight for the foreigner who is seeking for accommodation when they want to move to Ho Chi Minh City. But now you mentioned about the factory, right? So what it is related to? Like, what are people looking for when they come to you and say, hey Guillaume, I want to set up a factory in Vietnam, and how would you help them?
So it's not necessary I want to set up a factory. This can come later, but usually people, they contact me because either they are already manufacturing in China, or they have they want to make a product, right? So for instance, they want to make a table. It's like furniture. You know, it can be textile, it can be crafted products. There are a lot of products that Vietnamese manufacturers are very good at. And then basically, because I'm doing a lot of content online, they're gonna reach my team, and send me their spec. For instance, okay, I want to make 200 tables, and then 200 chairs, and then something like in wooden for interior design. And from that spec, we will look for the suitable manufacturer. And so we can source around, so basically send the specification to the factory, make sure that they can deliver the products, and then usually the clients fly to Vietnam to also visit the factory. And then after that, we basically help them to, you know, in the terms, condition, negotiation with the factory. We basically help them to make it more easy to find and to manufacture their products in Vietnam.
So instead of they have to set up the purchasing department in Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
So they contact to you, and then you will be on behalf of them looking for the supplier and work with that supplier, and then arrange everything to make sure that they can have the right product that they're expecting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you mentioned about the online content. So this is what we are really interested in. I receive a lot of questions of people about our YouTube channel. They say, really YouTube help you to make client? That is the thing that everybody care about it. So I want to have the same question like that for you. The YouTube really make you the client?
Yeah, so YouTube bring me clients. So there is probably misconception on most of the people who are looking at YouTube videos. They will just look at the numbers, the number of views, right?
Yeah.
But if you take a videos about, if you go to LệCH street, right? You film around, you film the bars and etc. Then you will make maybe dozen or even hundreds of thousands of views, right? But maybe the people who are gonna watch your content, they don't really care. It's just entertaining. But if you make a content very specific, very narrow, about a very specific topic, then you may attract just a few people, but those people, they will have a need. For instance, if you talk about very specific projects, about the legal aspect, remember the video we did together?
Yeah.
The feedback that we got from this video is really people who are in the need of purchasing and they have some legal issues, they want to get in touch with a lawyer, or they have specific things, how is the sales purchase agreement exactly, you know, or the step, I want to open an account. So it's very technical. So that's why you're gonna have more people reaching you. So maybe less views, but the views are more targeted and help you to touch a certain audience that we really have a need. And I see YouTube as a way to really touch those people. We don't do like very broad content, you know, like very massive audience. That's not our focus. But it's more, okay, there is this need. I'm gonna make a video with this exact keywords, etc., explaining the subject this way. And then of course inside you have call to action. If you have this need, this problem, I'm here to help you. Just drop me your message. And that's how you close with YouTube.
All right, so we are having the same mindset that we don't need to reach everybody out there, right? There are a million viewers out there, but we really need the right person to watching the right content that they might need. And that is the same thing happened with our YouTube channel. So we used to make the video to explain that why all the guests come to our channel, and then they turns out that way they open the deal and they close the deal. Because even some of the video that not many people see it, but just only one of that 100 of people watch that movie, they give a call, and then they get out there, set up a meeting, sign a contract, and then they make the deal happen. So the same thing. But the second thing I want to ask you that, of course, YouTube is just only one channel, one of many channels that we can use, right? And how would you to optimize that tool? Of course, SEO or website or newsletter or mass email or anything to support your video more effectively.
Yeah, so My strategy is that I will have a strong SEO strategy. So each time I will identify a topic, I will also build guides. So basically, it's if you type like how to do that, or 5 things to know about this topic, etc. 5 pitfalls that you must avoid if you wanna do that. Then if you build those guides online, you have the video that is one door, but you have also those guides that will do different doors to reach a certain audience. And then basically when you get the interest of the visitor, then they may look for additional information, they may read, they may want to download an ebook or subscribe to your newsletter. They are just doing due diligence, right? They have a hint that you may be the right person, but they will check around. So of course, if you have multiple content, a lot of resources, etc., and you put your face on YouTube, they will trust you, right? Because they may find some website like not very professional, but if you really put your face out there, you do YouTube, you do this, you do that, you leave a phone number, then of course you may be like a legit person to contact, and then they will inquire you.
I understand. So YouTube can be the core one.
Yeah.
But of course that we have to make it. Cái này nó cắt được. It's okay. We will start back.
You wanna redo this?
No, it's okay. We can cut that part. No problem. Okay. So you talk about like the YouTube will be the main course, right? And then we have to have a lot of topping around them. Like we need to have the website, we need to have the LinkedIn account or something that they can drive into, and then people search about that face on that YouTube. Okay, so that's interesting. So tell me what associate you from move to Asia to the YouTuber and then add it to the real estate sector? What bring you to the real estate?
So real estate, I think, came from because I'm also an investor myself. So I bought properties overseas and then in Vietnam. So I found that there may be some interest from other foreigners who would like to do that. And then just because I was talking about opportunities in Asia, and then because I was living in Vietnam, then of course it come also the point of, hey, we need to talk about this topic. So first, I didn't necessarily have the view of absolutely monetizing that. So I'm not an agent myself. I don't know a lot of properties here. So I would mostly rely on agents. So if I have a client request, I will mostly tell them that we can work with an agent that will go around, or we can help you to sell your properties, same with agents. And then we will be your point of contact, so they trust us. And then we will help you, for instance, for the legal paper, to open a bank account, to transfer the money overseas. So they contact us, and then they have, basically we open them a scope of services, and we make it.
We come back with that part.
So yeah.
Okay.
So we bring them a bunch of different services. So they have one point of contact in Vietnam that can help them to support the real estate project.
So you're gonna be like the buyer representative, more likely, yes. Yeah. And I think that will be very important, because I know that in real estate, in the international market, the buyer and the seller are not allowed to work directly to each other, right? They only have to have the represent agent. So that will help us to more secure in the transaction, to be more trusted, and of course everything will be smoother. Okay, so you talked that you bought the property in here.
Yes, so I bought a few lands.
Few lands?
Few lands.
How could you do that? You're a foreigner.
So as a foreigner, you have 2 ways if you want to purchase a land. Either you have, so it's not for everyone, right? But let's say you've been living in Vietnam for a long period of time, and then you have, I don't know, very good friend, people that you trust, you are married, or you just rely on some local that you have 100% trust. Then you can buy under the name.
All right.
So it's not a very, it's not 100% safe, right? The person can just run with your money, but of course it's one segment. Then the second segment is if you are an entrepreneur, you can also set up a company, and then that company can hold the title. But this is the same. If you want to do that, it may not be that easy, because your lawyer will basically tell you, if the only point of the business is to hold a property title, then it's just trying to be sneaky, and then to bypass the law that foreigner cannot hold lands, right?
Yeah.
So you have to do that, but basically you may know a company like Homebase, right? Home base, they are buying lands and properties on the behalf of foreigners, and they have an entity, they have a company, right?
Yes.
So everything goes through this company. So legally, it's doable. It's just it may be complicated, and then it may not be that straightforward process. So you need to have a good legal team, rely on a good lawyer, etc. So I would really recommend you the first way. So you have friends or a wife or someone that you really trust, and then that person will hold the title on your behalf.
I see. So here's the question. So I think it's very interesting that we have this interview, because from your perspective, you are just not only the agent, right? Not only the service provider, but you yourself, you are also an investor in Vietnam. So of course, when you first day arrive in Vietnam, you have a bunch of questions. You might be find someone to add, you research someone around. So I think that is the reason why you have the perspective of a searcher.
Yeah, and then I put myself in the shoes of my clients, right? For instance, I have also an apartment in France, and it's been around 6 months that my tenant is not paying the rent. In France, how do? You cannot just go there and kick the person out. You will go in jail. So you have to use, you have to go through a notary, then you have a very long process. Then if you are unlucky and if the person is a single mom, or if this is the winter, you cannot put the person out. So it's a very long and complicated process. So I can compare also the perspective of investing in a very, very stable and safe and already established market, just like France, and investing in a so emerging market here. Here in Vietnam, if the person who is renting my land is not paying me, you can just go there, you pressure the guy, and it's either he's leaving your land, or either he have to put on the table the rent that he owes you, right?
Yes.
So it's very different, and this sometimes foreigners don't understand. That of course Vietnam is emerging, it's risky, the legal system is not always 100% transparent, etc. But you have also advantages that we lost in the West.
Yes.
So you have to it's not just I don't have this, I don't have that like I have in France. Yeah, but you have also other advantages.
Yes,
right.
I think that is a good perspective from an investor. It's not about you have to find the good balance point, right? It's balance between the risk and the advantage that you can take from that market. I always told to my client that if you jump into the mature market, just such as like Tokyo, Seoul, or New York, or Australian, everything is setting up, right? Everything is in order. So there is no room for your growing. There's no room for you to make the profit big in their country, and especially in Vietnam, even right now we still not have the thing called profitable tax for the real estate sector. So meanwhile, in Korean, people pay like 35% to 45% for that one. So it's less opportunity for you to make money instead of going to that mature market. And also, of course, as you say, they must take the risk. And how would you to help them to narrow down the risk that they might take?
Yeah, so I think we've been discussing about that, about how to choose the right project. So either you want to go to an exotic approach, and then again you can buy your land, etc. Land has been booming in some areas of Vietnam, but it's not something I will really invite people to consider. I would more turn myself to someone like you, like Nhan. You have experience in different projects. You'll be able to advise, and you'll be able to say, okay, there are a few parameters: the location, the property developer, the track record of the developer, and then how do you rank the project based on others, and then from that, you may be able to say, okay, that project has potential, and then invite foreigners to buy in those projects that allow them to own, right? Like with foreign quota. Then we just follow the approach that you've been discussing. Yeah.
So basically, that you prefer to collaborate with the agent.
Yeah.
So and that's why you say like between the collaboration between, just for example, we did some deal before, right? Yeah. So you bring the client come to us, and you let the professional agent to do their work, right? To prove the expertise with the client, providing the consultant services, and of course, like providing all the document processing for them.
And even, I mean, in Vietnam, you have for a foreigner who would like to evaluate the potentials, they may ask for different agents, right? Different experience, and then just some agents maybe pushing you a certain project because they have their personal interest. So just be able to benchmark different options and try to find agents that have an experience on a special either city or district. If you want to invest in Hoi An, we don't have any experience in Hoi An, right? So just go there and then try to find local agents, local connections, build local connections over there. And you can do the same in Saigon. We are more expert in Southern Vietnam than for Southern Vietnam. Okay, you can reach us, you can get more insights, etc.
Interesting. The reason why I'm asking you like this is because our main purpose with Căn Nhà Màu Vàng channel, we started as just like the way you start with the moves to Asia. We want to create the YouTube channel where we can share our knowledge about the property segment. But later on, when we look into our database, when we look into our viewer, we all recognize that it's more likely the broker and the agent rather than the real buyer. So we think about, why don't we just create the content, and furthermore we can create a community where all the agents can collaborate to each other, where all the agents, just like you have client, you got your request, you got your inquiry, but you don't really have the outsourcing, you don't really have the supplier, or you don't really experience in the typical market. And then by jumping into our community, and then the other agent will find you who have lack of the capability to get an inquiry, so that you can work together and bring the best benefit for our client. So that is one of the best things that we want to do, and we are trying to do with our Căn Nhà Màu Vàng channel. And that is the reason why we only have the crossover between the move to Asia and Căn Nhà Màu Vàng as well.
Yeah, I think it's very good when you have like one agent is representing the buyer, one agent can be representing the seller, and then both of them will try to work with each other. And then in the end, like if there is any commission generated, usually split.
And I want to know more, like these days, you know that in Vietnamese we have the first 6 months is quite a track down, right? Everything is quiet, and we are curious to know the foreigner outside of the border of Vietnam right now. Are they looking into Vietnam? Is still attracting destination or not?
So I feel that in terms of inquiries to buy, I have less, but I had more inquiries to sell. So I have, just because of the VQ community, right? Many of them, like in Canada, in France, in Belgium, Switzerland, they will speak French. So they may turn and then look for a French-speaking agent in Vietnam, and some of them find me. So I help a couple of clients to sell their properties in Vietnam, you know. And then I feel that for the last year and a half, I have more inquiries to sell. Oh, we got an inheritance. We got a property that we had some lands in Bảo Lộc and we want to sell them, you know. We got more this kind of inquiries rather than I want to buy in Vietnam just because it's dynamic.
I understand.
You know. So I feel the selling pressure more than the buying one.
I see. But I think that's still good, right? So from an agent's perspective, we care about, as long as the client contact to us for any of the requests, that means you are value at some point. Yeah. Right, and especially when you are very like in a niche market, because you say that French languages from the Switzerland, from Canadian, from France, that they are having inquiry on you, and I don't see a lot of people out there doing the same thing like you. So that means you are basically that you are no competitor at this stage. But the challenge is going to be like, how would you to find I say the assist for that kind of property? Do you have any plan in your head yet for that kind of inquiry?
For the assist?
Assist mean like they are asking to sell their property, right? But of course you say somewhere in Bảo Lộc, somewhere in Phan Thiết, or
no.
So how would you help them?
So the way we proceed when we had inquiries outside of Saigon is like we will either I will ask my network. So I will say, for instance, I have a very good friend from Dalat. He also invests in Bảo Lộc. That's what the first person I will ask. Oh, you used to invest in Bảo Lộc. Do you have any like local agents? Did you know any like what is the market over there? You know, so get a first sense of the market, and from that first sense that I will get from my network, I will see if I can support the client or not. And sometimes we just have to say no. We are not experts on that area. We cannot support. You know, like northern Vietnam, usually I don't have strong connections and I don't have a good knowledge. So usually I will ask them to look for other agents. Yeah.
That's such a big pity, right? Because a lot of requests
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you just cannot save.
Yeah.
They save them all, right?
Yeah.
So just sometimes we have to say no
Yeah.
with some of the requests. Okay, you mentioned a lot about the networking and the connection. I'm quite interested in that. As a French people, how would you create your network with the community of agents in Vietnam?
So I think there are some popular events that are happening. You have some. Wait, can you help me on this? Then we can cut now.
Yeah, sure.
Cut. So what is the one that is happening every year? You know, it's in it's the real estate. I think it's from
Savio?
Yes,
The market report?
Yeah, the big.
Meet the expert.
I don't remember.
They have the event.
It's in the January or February. Usually, it has like the yearly big when they tell you about the last year track record.
Yeah.
Is it sales or?
They do it every quarter, like
quarter?
the market report. Yes.
No. I mean it's an offline event.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's called market report. Yes, everybody know.
Okay, market report.
Okay, come back.
Yeah. So in terms of networking, there are a lot of events happening in town. You may just go on Facebook and then type real estate markets, and then usually you have some chamber of commerce that are organizing events, or you have big players in the real estate market such as Savils or other ones that are just doing like quarterly, right, or every 6 months. They're doing some kind of big networking, gathering experts, sharing numbers, sharing the track record of, okay, in this part of the cities, but it's evolving this way, etc., with a lot of research. So it's good insight to acquire, to have a first sense about, okay, how is the real estate market happening, and which district should I push more my inquiries, let's say District 9, or other districts that may be more easy to work with more projects.
All right, interesting. So lastly, this is what we might be very interesting to know. Of course, your company, your move to Asia, it remind me about a very interesting case study in the world. You know Nash Daily, right? Nash, they're starting the same. He's starting from the content creator, and then he trained for himself into an entrepreneur. But lastly, in the end of the day, we are all the family guy already. We need to have the generate the revenue from our business. And how would your business generate the revenue through all of your activity? How would it come from?
So I would say 80% is a service. So I will, for instance, when I set up a business for a foreigner, I work closely with a legal partner, and then we are just helping the foreigner to set up his business. So we are paid for that. When we are doing sourcing missions with for foreigners who would like to find factories, this is the same. We do a market research. So basically, I put my team like doing phone calls, doing reports, etc. And either I'm the one presenting to my clients, or either it's someone of my team. And then we basically provide them a report and then make factory introduction. And then we can tailor tours. So we just we have this week one client flying to Vietnam, and then we have a one-day tour. So we have one person who is QC, so more like experience on the material, one English-speaking person, the client, and then a driver. And then we take this client for a 3 factory tour in one day. So it's a very, very busy day, but this is totally my team who is taking care, and we are paid for that.
All right.
Yeah. And then for real estate, it's going to be brokerage fee. So either we have a commission on the sales, or we will work with an agent to share the commission.
Okay. And the YouTube?
And YouTube, I make maybe 60 euro per month.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You make the YouTube, so they really pay for your content?
Yeah, but it's not a lot. It's
I know, but how long it take? Because we really care about it. We spent 3 years with more 100 episodes. It's okay, we can cut this part. Whenever we do this in here, we want to say that, okay, this shot run out of the smoothly already. That sound is my screaming, you know. Cắt cho em đoạn này nha. Nhưng mà thật ra mấy cái kiểu tiếng này nó có một cái hiệu ứng rất là hay, với tụi Tây nó sẽ rất thích luôn. I talked to him that this kind of sound effect, like natural sound, like people walking, people talking, people drinking coffee, cling, cling, is very good as sound effect for the foreigner watcher. Yes, for foreigner viewer, I see a lot of videos, podcasts from outside. Like, people like the natural environment, just like you are sitting in the real space. It's not a studio, right? So everything is more real, more touching. So especially with a foreigner viewer, I pretty much sure that they love it.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Okay, we come back with the YouTube channel. So the reason why I want to ask you about YouTube, because you know our channel, we done this job for, we have been doing this for 3 years, more than 100 videos, and a lot of people ask me, hey, I see that you have more 1,000 subscribers, you have a lot of videos, you have even the advertising on the video right now. So how would you get the money? I myself am not experienced that. So can you share me a little bit and for the watcher as well?
So I think you need to provide a tax ID. So basically you need to plug into YouTube is like Google, right? They are all merged together now. So you need to just go to the Google AdSense, if I remember well, and then put your tax ID, and then every month you're gonna get wired.
All right. So cameraman, make sure that you listen to this part because we want to generate the revenue from our YouTube. But thank you, Guillaume. I think this is the first time we do the video, fourth time, right? We do video together, but previous time you are the interview and I am interviewer, right? So we swap, we switch the role, and I think I learned pretty much interesting thing about you. So lastly, this is the part we keep for our guest speaker, that you can invite the people, invite our viewer to join in your community, to join network, or to invite them to collaborate with them. So anything special lastly that you want to highlight for our viewer?
So yeah, nowadays I'm not 100% focused on real estate. So like the viewers may check a bit more what I'm doing. But basically they can check on Move to Asia YouTube channel, they can have a first hint about, okay, what I'm doing, like what is the visible part of the iceberg. And then if anyone wanna reach me out for instance, just to have a coffee and to discuss about real estate or business, etc., feel free to just drop me an email, and then we can set up a coffee in town. Yeah.
All right, so all type of services that you can provide it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Guillaume. So this is our very first speaker, like foreigner speaker on our podcast, and we really hope that we can create and develop more these kind of content, because I know out there in this market not many agents who do the English content like this one for foreigner. But you say that, right? The demand is huge, and we want to keep developing this kind of content. So I hope that you guys will find some interesting information, and if you want to reach out for more inquiry or you want to collaborate with the Move to Asia and Guillaume, all the contact of him will be in the description. Thank you for all of your support. We are so happy whenever we see any new comment, any new email from you guys about the question or any inquiry about the market. We would love to be here to assist you. Not if just only us, we can like connecting you with our partner like Move to Asia and Guillaume, like this one, to make sure that even no matter you are the agent or your client, you got your back benefit when you work with us. And thank you, Guillaume, for your spending your time. I hope that we can have more content to create together, and perhaps that someday we can make the video about how did I assist the Guillaume for his very first house in Vietnam, right? That would be very interesting. Once again, thank you for your watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, and hope to see you in the next time. I am Nhân, and this is Guillaume. Thank you, and bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.